It's just recording. Are you making sense of this? Over the past 5 years, ever since COVID, I don't think I've ever spent as much time on the internet or on YouTube listening to people's opinions and what's happening and getting up to date with what's happening in history, religion, financial markets, geopolitical situations. Never faced that, never was interested. Why would I be? I get on with, I go to work, I get home, I want to go on holiday and look after the family. That's it. Now, trying to make sense of all of this, the stock market, zombie companies, have you seen all the layoffs? That's because of zombie companies. Predicted anything from 84% to 92% of the stock market is going to crash because it's one enormous bubble, and it's been coming for what, 30 years. Were you aware of it? Well, I wasn't looking at the cycles up and down, recession and then great growth. Now our pensions are tied up and in a couple of years the pensions are going to run out. So the growth, we're not growing anymore. The economies can't grow. You can only grow up to a point, and then there's no further growth. China is eating the world. They are better, cheaper, and faster than anybody else. Europe, their economies are crashing. Germany is the biggest economy in Europe, and they're taking a dive. Did you see what happened in Japan now with the yen taking a dive? Because they bought up most of, I think they are the biggest buyer of American debt. The Americans, what are they doing? They are investing in the military-industrial complex. Now we come to World War. And let's look at Russia and what's happening geopolitically. And to me, it seems like the past 30 years of basically democracy, where you enticed Russia to get out of communism because that system had to fail so that democracy could dominate and the will of the people. Listen, my man, look at the will of the people. None of our wills are, do we want to go to war? Do we want to lose our pensions? Do we want our people? Do we want all the resources of the other countries just for free? At least China and Russia is looking at trade, and okay, maybe we change the monetary system, but look now at the monetary system, because now you're going for CBDC. What's a CBDC? We go to the Reserve Bank. When you play Monopoly, the 1%, the one guy eventually wins the whole board, right? Now this is what's happening as well. Look at your insurance companies as well. We're getting overcharged like crazy. You're paying, and when you've got a claim, they're not going to pay you. So for me, it looks like ever since World War II, the whole idea was we want Russia's resources, and we're going to get it for free by any means possible. Whether we're going to get into do the democracy propaganda, and then when that failed, because it basically did fail, you wanted to change the government, get in there and extract the resources. You do not want the responsibility of the country or the citizens, but you want to. What did you do with Iraq? You went in there, you killed the people, you extract the resources, and you want to get it and you sell it for free and you make a heck of a profit. Now, you want to do the same thing with Russia. You do not. You clearly want to stop the trade with them, because America wants to trade with Europe. You blew up the pipeline so that now Europe is taking a dive. But okay, everybody basically, I guess, knows this. So I'm not, all the information I'm giving is what I got from YouTube. And um, if you've been following any of this, I'm not getting into the political thing. Then I get banned. I don't. Normally, I don't even have anything to say. So, and then the one time that I go, okay, I'm trying to figure all of this out. And when COVID started, I thought, okay, you're looking at the West, you're looking at the East. Now, communism is really not my. I don't want to go into communism. You've got a lot of people that socialism and communism, it's very popular. Well, the free market, I've created the most prosperous time in history. Communism has killed millions, hundreds of millions. Now, you want to do UBI? Now, since you've gone onto the monopoly system and the big players are owning, look at BlackRock. You're taking all the properties. You're investing. You're not taking real responsibility for anything, but you're making heck of profits off everything. So all these firms, you're making money. You want for free. You want to sell. At least China and Russia wants to trade. Doesn't matter in which currency you want to trade, but at least they want to trade. You know, there's a win-lose. There's we America, what do you want to do? You want to do piracy. You invest into the war, you get in, and you basically you you just extract the country and you leave it dilapidated afterwards, and then you're out of there. You made your money. You're the world leaders now. The liberal New World Order, that's something that I was not aware of either. So we've been, for the past 100 years, I've been looking at all of this and I thought it's new, it's new, it's new. Dude, this has been coming for the past century. The plan has never changed, has it? We're very confused with all of the things that are happening around us and what's currently happening. You look at what's happening in Israel. And when the destruction of the second temple. Now that's the religious aspect. 2,400 years, is that right? Now you're using modern technology because you want to build the third temple, and then it's one big mess. So you look at the internet, and the internet seems like a mess. It's reflecting our societies. It's a mess because our societies are a mess. Don't let me get into this transgenderism nonsense. Listen, some people, you do what you want to do. But to create a social madness so that most people are confused about their sexuality, are you insane? Walk away from that nonsense. If you are somebody from the, is it a 1% of all populations? You have some inner struggle. You deal with it. You go ahead. You cannot force it on the whole of society all over the world because of 1% in a rich country that, okay, highly intelligent, and now you're rich and spoiled, and you're supported in your madness, which creates a social madness. And because of the internet, it's all over the world, and you want to recreate the insanity all over the world. How about no? How about we want religious freedom? Right now, you're enforcing laws and censorship. You do not want us to talk because it's against the narrative of what the government wants, the 1% that's taking over. So you need to shut up populations, and you're going to do what we want you to do. We're going to take everything. Are you crazy thinking that you'll own nothing and be happy do it. I grew up poor. I know what it's like to own nothing. Now I don't have I don't have a lot right now. Doesn't matter. It's better than it was. Owning nothing. There's no happiness in owning nothing. Just working for a paycheck so that I've paid my bills next month, I'm paying my bills again. Can't afford to do a single thing. Promise you, there's no happiness in that. The car market within the next 5 years, all legacy automakers are gonna go bankrupt. Who in their right minds are gonna buy a car right now? Because in 5 years, who's gonna service and supply parts? Then you lose all the jobs that get lost. The economy it's gonna take a dive. It's horrific. Now I know they say from chaos something beautiful can be born. And Joe Dispenza, I've listened to him. Now this religion thing, I know I'm jumping all over the place. I'm clearly not the right. I'm just trying to figure out stuff for myself. Okay. So from chaos, and you something beautiful can be born. I don't know if that's true, but maybe we can find a way out of the chaos by looking at it. But that does not mean I'm there to steal your stuff, to dominate, to... How about religious freedom? We should be able... I can't call myself a Christian. I was raised Christian, but I'm such a bad Christian that I cannot say I'm a Christian. But if I get back into the church and if they'll even accept me, listen, I've not lived a very good life. So, yeah, Christians should be, and the persecution of Christianity? No. Christians should be able, just like Muslims, just like Islam. What's the correct word? It's your faith. You should have the freedom to practice your faith. You do what you do in your little corner. I do what I do in my little corner. Now you want to have everything. Now can we get into this AI nonsense that preaches in church? It's an algorithm. Listen, I can rather have an imperfect person with an imperfect life bring a message that he received from the Spirit of God to talk with the Christian or whatever faith community, but to have an algorithm regurgitate you a message that's basically instructed to navigate you according to the will of the government or the programmers or whatever future they... Really, algorithms should not lead us in our faith. I want a person, even an imperfect person, even with imperfect understanding. You talk with God, you feel it at your heart, you give a message to somebody. Now, how do we navigate through all of this? I don't know. What's the best thing to invest in? Losing our pensions and our livelihoods from what's invested in the stock market that's gonna plunge. When it's gonna blow, don't know, but it's gonna blow. It's gonna blow soon. It's gonna blow after the election in America. It's gonna blow in a couple of years. I don't know, but the people with knowledge, they are clearly making money from it. But even now, I did state that at the start of COVID, I thought, okay, if you're looking at the West and the East, whether you choose the American democracy system, or which is basically a socialism, communism system. And you look at China. Now they're all out communist. But you weigh the two, communism versus communism. Whether the West or the East, doesn't matter which one is going to dominate. We're going to be in a situation through the use of AI where we're in a slavery system. We're going to be enslaved. You're not going to have chains and whips anymore, but with the tech, it's still a slavery system with the CBDC that you're going to bring in, that's going to monitor and approve what you can buy, whether you can buy or sell or whatever. Now is that not the introduction of the mark of the beast? You want to in the pharmaceutical, I haven't touched that, have we? That was, you want to enforce this on us. Now you're making rumblings of the mpox and the vaccine cards, freedom of movement. You want to restrict all that. You did the COVID so that we'd be obedient. You were teaching us. We are dogs. You are training us to shut up and do what you are taught. How about no? How about we live our lives and not actually want another system? Because if the democracy system of America is not working, if the Chinese dominance, a communist system, that's not going to work for most. How about an alternative system? Where can, if these two paths is not really the path that's, okay, established systems are going to be, maybe it's easier to change the system that exists. And again, I'm just rambling. Can I get back to AI now for a little bit? No, I'm not. But it's basically algorithms. That's not as advanced. But you want to create from the chaos and the algorithm, you want to emerge, birth a god. AI is not a god. It's a bunch of algorithms that we can be deceived to be led by the people who are doing the programming, who is in bed with the politicians. It comes down to slavery. Globally, a global, and then you have everybody owning, not everybody, okay, basically everybody owning nothing, and you've got the ones who won the monopoly board, you won it. So it's one big myth, and this is my thoughts on it. Cheers.